Hi, everyone, and welcome to our wonderful Wednesday. So, today, may the force be with you as our little dog is giving his little high five to everyone. And let's go ahead and if he could tell us a joke, his joke today would be this: why should you be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Well, you might step into a poodle. How about this one? Why did the boy take his dog to the watchmaker? It had ticks. Well, I hope your dog doesn't have ticks. And let's go ahead and say goodbye to our little doggy. Goodbye. May the force be with you, little dog. And let's get to business with our hands-on with triangles. Today, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk a little bit about the attributes of our triangles. And we're going to do a little bit of measurement. So I need you to go ahead and open your books and turn to page 845. 845. It says measure the sides of each pair of triangles below to the nearest quarter of an inch and then record the measurements. So what they want us to do is you need to use to get yourself a ruler today. Mrs. Swint's going to grab her ruler here. And we know that a quarter of an inch, when you have your ruler, that a quarter of an inch is just the small tick that's along the line. So what we're going to do is you're going to go ahead and we're going to measure triangles A, B, C, and D. Now, because you need to be able to do this at home, Mrs. Swint is going to we're going to make this picture really big. Let's see if we can make it even bigger and bigger. It might be as far as I can go. Now, with this, we have now triangles A and B. I'm going to turn the answers on. If you have a ruler, go ahead and measure. And then I'll turn the answers on and I want to make sure we understand what we're doing, and then you'll be doing more measurement on your own. But if you took your ruler along each of these sides, and in this case, it's called an equal, all the sides are equal, so it's going to be an equilateral triangle. A and B are both equilateral triangles. And if you did your measurements correctly, your triangle A would be 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch. Now, because they want us to measure to the quarter inch, the next particular triangle, you would be measuring, and Mrs. Swin's going to try, but you would want it to go closest to whichever tick this is, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, or all the way up to the next number. In this case, it was 1 1/4. Let's go look at triangles C and D. And on C and D, we've got maybe some different measurements here. These two sides look equal to me. This one looks a little longer. So I'm going to let you take a moment and do your measurement. While you're doing that, I'm going to get some coffee. So go ahead, triangle C and then triangle D. All right, let's see what kind of answers, if you got the same as the book. The book got 1 inch by 1 inch by 1.5. And they went ahead and for triangle D, we've got 1, 2.5, and 2. So there are 3 different measurements here. Triangles, you may have heard me mention this is an equilateral triangle. I do want to introduce, there are two other triangles that are in the classification. One is called an isosceles, and another one's called the scalenes. An isosceles has two sides that are the same and one side that'll be different. Isosceles. A scalene, which I always think the word reminds me of scary, and it's very scary if you have three sides that are different. Again, that's a fourth grade terms, but just keep it in the back of your mind. On the bottom, under talk about it, they wanted us to identify each triangle with what you discovered about the sides. So the questions with this, and we'll bring it back to more of a normal size. It said no side lengths are the same. Well, that was triangle D. We had 2 and a fourth, 1 and 2. Number 2, the question was all three sides are the same. Well, that was the equilateral triangles of triangle A and B. And the isosceles triangle, exactly 2 sides. Well, that was triangle C here. All right, let's get rid of those answers. Put me over here. Let's try the next page. On the next page, you have a triangle with one right angle is called a right triangle. Find the right triangle in the photo to the right. Well, remember, when you look at something and the lines are perpendicular, that's going to give us a right angle. Lines that are perpendicular are lines that are horizontal and vertical. And many times you will see the little, the symbol of a square, and that shows me a right angle. When I look up here at the sail, I see my right angle in the lower part of my sail here. Compare the angles of each triangle below. Which triangle is a right triangle, and circle it? Well, again, you see the symbol right here, so that's going to be your clue. So I have triangle A. Which triangle did you circle? A, and I chose A because it has the symbol or the square showing me the right angle. Triangle A is the right angle. Down below and talk about it, it says, which triangle has an angle greater than a right angle? So I need something that's going to open up or be an obtuse type of angle. So which one up here had something that would be greater? Well, if I take a look right here, this was not greater. These are angles that are less than the right angle. But this up here would be an angle. So the B is going to have an obtuse, or an angle that is greater than a right angle. Which triangle has all three angles that are less than a right angle? So they're all acute. They're all acute angles. And if I take a look at C, these are all less than a right angle. So you had C. Explain how a triangle is a special kind of polygon. Well, if we go back in our terminology from yesterday, we said a polygon has to have at least 3 lines that are not overlapping and that are closed. Well, a triangle is very special. It's a special kind of polygon because it has 3 sides and 3 angles. You can't, a polygon, that's the smallest shape that you can possibly have for a polygon. I can't have anything less than 2 sides, otherwise I don't have a 2-dimensional shape. Let's go ahead and go to the next page. On the next page on independent practice for Practice It, they want you to measure the sides of each triangle below to the nearest 1/4 of an inch, and then state the number of sides with equal lengths. So measure with your ruler or with a tape measure all of your sides, and then go ahead and state the number of sides. On my comparing below, 11, 12, 13, and 14, they want us to share the attributes. Compare the angles of each triangle, then circle the correct description. One angle is greater than a right angle. So what could I say about this particular triangle? Well, I could certainly say, I don't see any right angles, so I certainly could say that one angle is greater than the right angle. Go ahead and identify your last couple of angles here in the practice set. But let's look at number 15. Circle the triangles on this page that are not, or I'm sorry, I tried to trick you, that are right angles. So you're circling anything that's a right angle. And remember, there is a symbol that can identify that very quickly. On your next page, to apply it, it says one side of the Egyptian pyramid is in the shape of a triangle. Circle the phrase that best describes the angles of the triangle. Could I say here, looking at this pyramid, that all angles are greater than a right angle? Could I say all angles are less than a right angle? Or could I say one angle is a right angle? So I'll let you circle which is best. On number 17, they say be precise. And this is what you need to do. Measure the sides of the triangle to the nearest quarter of an inch. Then state the number of sides with equal lengths. So I can immediately look at this and I can tell you all three sides are not equal. So I'll let you go ahead with that. Identify structure. They want us to draw a triangle that is a right triangle. So what you want to do is something like this is I want to start with a right triangle. I want to start with a right angle. There's my right angle. Then I'm going to create, I know triangles have only three sides. That would have a right angle. And I'm going to identify it with my symbol in the corner. Then they want us to draw a triangle that is not a right triangle. So you can go ahead and I'll give you a hint. There's one there. There's one there. Just draw a triangle. Under the right about it. On number 19, it says, how are all triangles the same? And how can they be different? There we go. I'll let you go ahead. How are they alike? Different. Your homework today is again pretty straightforward. It's measuring the triangles, telling how many sides there are, and maybe being able to identify with the description the attribute that's truthful. So you're circling whichever one. And that is everything for today. I hope you guys have a great day and stay warm. Have fun with your family. Bye, everyone.